Hey everyone, welcome back to another recap here on the channel. Today we're going to be going over the second episode of the 100's current season. They're now on a new planet with all new struggles and problems, and if you missed last week's episode, be sure and check out the recap video to get all caught up. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We start off 236 years into the past with some of the original colonists on Alpha. A teenage girl, the daughter of one of the main colonists, names the planet Sanctum, which just so happens to be the episode title of last week's premiere. The girl, named Josie, and another colonist are making out by the beach when they hear noises and they take off through the woods to get back to the camp. She gets back to find that her mother is in pain and her father has went absolutely nuts. He ends up hitting the girl with something, and then he starts shooting the other colonists, and he takes out several as we see above him the red sun. During the opening credits, I just realized that we're now seeing shots of the new planet instead of Earth. I'm not really sure if that was in last week's episode or not. Back to the present, Clark and company have taken cover inside one of the buildings, and they're trying to patch up Murphy. Clark is looking at the children's book that she found, and she's reading about how the madness lasts for 2 days. She thinks it's an airborne toxin that is released from the plants on the planet. In order not to kill one another, the team finds restraints in the building and they tie themselves up to ride out the danger. Now, on board the ship above the planet, the scout ship docks, and the people who stole it toss gas grenades into the ship and take out the welcome party. Sometime later, Octavia and the others wake up. They've been locked in the mess hall. They realize that Raven is not with them and may be able to help them out. We see where Raven is okay and she wakes Diyoza up for help, and they make a plan to get the hijackers. Back on the planet, tensions are rising between Murphy and Clark. Murphy's kind of taunting her, going over all the things that she's done to him over the years. She finally shuts him down by admitting that she is the bad guy and that everything she's done she did for a reason. They hear a noise coming from above them and realize it's Jackson in one of the rooms. Clark and Bellamy race upstairs to find Miller beating his head against the wall, and Jackson is pleading to have them untie him so he can help. They undo Jackson and he goes crazy and he tries to stab Miller. Clark and Bellamy trank them both and then they're unconscious. They run back downstairs and find that Murphy has escaped. He's taken the guns and they think he's coming for Emery. In another room, Echo and Emery starts to fighting with one another as Bellamy and Clark listen from outside the door, and Bellamy's starting to lose it as well. Clark tries to talk him down, but then they get interrupted by Murphy taking shots at him. Back on board the ship, Octavia and Abby argue about the decisions made back on Earth, and meanwhile, Diyoza and Raven bargain with the hijackers for their freedom. Now, 2 of the hijackers are already dead thanks to Diyoza, and she forces Raven to have to disguise herself as one of them. In the mess hall, Octavia picks a fight with the rest of the crew. They overtake her and begin to beat her down, but Abby stops it before they can kill her. I really hope they do a redemption arc on Octavia this season because I can't imagine there is anyone watching who still likes her character at this point. Clark is looking around for weapons when she hears Abby over the radio. Abby tells her that Raven fixed the communications, and Clark tells her what's going on, and it slowly becomes obvious that this is a hallucination as Abby begins to taunt Clark, telling her that she's the reason so many people around her have died. And Clark isn't thinking clearly and asks how to stop it, and Abby tells her to kill herself. Murphy finds Clark before she can slit her own throat and convinces her to put the knife down. He kind of suggests that they go after Bellamy before he kills them. Back on board the ship, Diyoza and Raven's plan goes horribly wrong when the hijackers instantly know that Raven is in disguise and is not one of their other team members. Now, out of nowhere, Maddie jumps down from the ceiling and takes out another hijacker, leaving only one of them left. Down on the planet, Murphy and Bellamy fight it out while Clark is supposed to take Bellamy out. She gets distracted by her hallucinations, but she powers through and she stabs Bellamy in the leg. She rushes to get Murphy, but Bellamy catches up with her and starts to choke her. Murphy grabs Bellamy long enough for Clark to let off a gas grenade that knocks them all out. Another landing party goes down to the planet on the scout ship. This time, it's got Octavia and Abby and Diyoza and a bunch of them. Octavia stows away and she runs off through the woods to find Clark and the others. Diyoza stays behind with Maddie to watch over the scout ship. They come to the radiation field and the hijacker that's left is able to cross through. She finds the grave for Shaw and she kind of asks who that is. Raven runs through once the hijacker disables the radiation field and she finds the grave. Abby and the others come upon Clark, Bellamy, and Murphy and they wake them. Abby can't wake Murphy up, his pulse is too weak and his veins are running black. Clark turns as she hears children coming from somewhere, and she looks and she sees several kids running up the stairs towards them. One of the children looks at Clark and says, "Are you here to take us home?" But Clark just kind of looks back at her and says, "Isn't this your home?" The episode ends there, and I'm especially confused now. Where did these children come from? Where is their home? Is it the actual planet that Alpha is next to, or just another place there on Alpha? The season is really getting off to an interesting start. I'm going to leave this one here, and I'll see you back next week for another recap. Thanks for watching, and be sure and give this a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it.